wife is leaving me and someone is going to jail, all because I just forced my stepdaughter out of the house. Am I the a-hole?
I feel like we got to play some relationship bingo. Like if you are getting divorced and maybe going to jail,
Yep.
you might be the a-hole.
Bing, 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 bing. This house has been in my family for generations, and it has a lot of sentimental value to me. I am now with a long-term girlfriend of 7 years after a divorce from my first wife, which ended on good terms. She has a daughter from a previous marriage, and I have a daughter from my marriage as well. Our daughters are both 17, with mine being basically 3 months younger. Kara, the oldest, is going to be turning 18 in May. Now, Kara will be going to school near the beach house that we have and asked if she could live in it and save some money, which would be a significant help to her. I don't think you could give an 18-year-old a beach house. I think that's
I think
a recipe
first
for
mistake
disaster.
is if you want your beach house to be trashed, then you can give your 18-year-old a beach house.
Yeah.
Just make sure, like, I guess insurance can cover it or something.
Yeah, destroy the property. My daughter, Emmy, approached me and has said that she wanted to live there after the summer, but wanted to live in it alone also while going to school. Now, this house is more than big enough for two, but she pointed out that they have very different lifestyles and would be far more comfortable alone or with a friend if I insisted that she live with someone else.
I wonder what the lifestyles are.
It was a frank conversation, and my daughter brought up the fact that the home will be hers one day, so it made sense, and she's right. The home will be hers by law in a few years, as I'm going to pass it to her. My girlfriend and my stepdaughter, Kara, are very upset and calling it favoritism and pointing out that she will already be set up for life, having a free ride to school via scholarships and housing, while my stepdaughter, Kara, will have to be using loans. And she may have to take a gap year to attend another school altogether. They're asking me to reconsider, and I think I've damaged my relationship. Am I the a-hole in this decision? I agree that it's favoritism, but Emma is my daughter. Of course I'm going to favor her, right? Now, there's an update here. Ladies and gentlemen, know where you're at right now. Let me know where you're at right now in the comments.
That's tricky, dude.
It's tricky. It's a little bit tricky, right?
It's a little bit tricky. I mean, it is his daughter. It is going to be his daughter's house.
Yeah.
But it's not her house yet. I feel like it would be right to allow the other daughter to live there.
Yeah.
At the very least.
I'm kind of feeling some a-hole vibes going on a little bit.
Yeah. I think maybe from his daughter.
Well, there was an update. So I spoke to my daughter, Emmy, and her mother and let them know where I stood, that I was with Emmy. But I also felt that my stepdaughter, Kara, and her mom deserve a genuine conversation. So this is the conversation we had this past Friday. The talk started okay. Obviously, there were some emotions, but I said that yelling and tears would not be used to influence anybody. After it was all said and we began, I just proposed the situation as this. This is a second home that I own fully and outright. It will be my daughter Emmy's fully and legally in a few years, but as of today, it is mine. However, like the house, Emmy is mine as well and my responsibility. No one but us is entitled to it, and make no mistake, Emmy is indeed entitled to it. It may not be fair in your eyes, but it is what it is. Emmy, I can see why they may think it's selfish, as the house can accommodate both, but I will support whatever you want to do. This is not a discussion to change your mind, but to better understand it. So then Kara and her mom were saying they didn't understand why she didn't want her to live there with her, as this would dictate a huge part of her future. The answer was half expected and the other half hard for everyone to swallow. Emmy said she didn't trust Kara to actually focus on school and not make the home into a party house. She point blank asked Kara if she could actually accept not having guests over. Kara said something like, a few people 2 or 3 days a week wouldn't be a problem. The answer should have been yes. Yoinks. Emmy said that she wouldn't feel safe with her bringing over strange men whenever she wanted, and her dad would want to visit, and she doesn't trust her dad at all.
Yikes.
She said that school was her main focus and staying safe would be a worry if Kara was living there. Then Kara and her mom got defensive, but I told them it didn't matter. She can't say she won't bring people over and tells me all that I need to know. And my daughter's safety is paramount, and Kara's focuses were blurred. Socializing is fine, but perhaps I was wrong and it just got out of hand. I told my girlfriend that, as her and her mother would have to address it, and that whatever the plan would be for Kara's schooling had she not ever met me, she would just have to take that course of action. So basically like, hey, if we had never met, you would be in the same situation anyways, I guess. But again, it's like,
and also
but you're together now? I don't know.
But they're just dating.
As for Emmy, after the conversation, I told her that she would have a roommate, as I felt that was important. She was fine with that and asked if she could have a friend be her roommate. I told her yes, so all was good there. So Sam, what do you think? So the conversation is over. What do you think is going to be the end result?
Well, I was hoping it would be resolved, and then Emmy would just have her friend be the roommate, and then bing, bang, boom, everyone is, a little bit pissed, but it's over.
One would think, right?
Oh God, what's going to happen?
As everyone guessed my girlfriend is now my ex-girlfriend. She asked me to stay somewhere else for the week while she found somewhere to stay. I reminded her that this house was also mine, but she was free to leave whenever. She ended up going to stay with a coworker, but something happened. She asked me to come back, but I told her that it wouldn't be wise. That's the update for now. Daughter is happy. I'm better than I thought I would be. Today is a new day! Exclamation mark. The ex will figure it out, and Kara has time to learn and grow. Sam, believe it or not, there is one final kind of juicy update.
Really?
To make a very long story short, this was not the full conclusion that I thought it was going to be. My former stepdaughter, Kara, is now in jail. She was picked up in a stolen Kia by some friends. They used the car to break into a pawn shop.
I'm so glad they didn't let her stay.
I couldn't tell you what was stolen or how much was stolen, but some football cards were taken, and I guess they were worth more than the car and the building damage. I understand people will say a lot about this, but I can honestly say that she never did anything remotely like this. The worst I think I saw her do was break a dish on purpose when she was 13.
I think maybe Emmy knew more about what Kara was up to than her parents knew.
As for my ex, she is now living in a shelter. She was not cheating on me, and I never thought that she was. That was just people making leaps. Unfortunately, the woman she was living with asked her to join her and her husband's for some activities after moving in. She felt that she had to do it for a place to live and regretted it. She told people at work, and then she was terminated after refusing to transfer. My daughter and I are good, but mentally shook. Wow.
Their whole life just freaking fell apart.
I gotta really ask if anyone's been in a similar situation to this.
And what would you do?
What would you do?
And also at every single point, like what would you do if your daughter came and said, hey, I don't want to live with this girl because who knows why? What would you do after the conversation you had? And then what would you do with all this fallout that happened after? I think Emmy is not the a-hole.
Yeah, I would say so,
I think Emmy knew more than
probably
her dad and girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, hey, I know how much this girl parties and she's kind of up to bad shit.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to hang around her. I don't think the dad's the a-hole either. I don't think OP's the a-hole. He's just trying to look out for his daughter. I don't think the girlfriend's the a-hole. I think this is like a no one's the a-hole scenario. But it just kind of sucks. Everything sucks. But let us know what you think. We could be totally wrong and you tell us that all the time. So thank you.
I saved a man's life and he thanked me by suing me for everything I've got. I was eating at a diner with some friends at 3 a.m. The guy in the next booth to us started coughing and gagging. I realized he was choking and went to help him. I had Heimlich training at my place of work. I'm an office safety manager for my floor, and the guy managed to get the thing out and it flew across the booth. He looked really pissed, paid his bill, and left.
What, pissed for saving
Why'd you save me, bro? I felt like a hero for the rest of the dinner and then just kind of forgot about it. That was 2 weeks ago. Today, I got a letter from a law firm saying that I'm getting sued for battery. They said I bruised a rib.
Trying to save that dude's life.
Literally.
Come on.
Do you want bruised rib or life? I have no clue how this guy figured out who I am. I thought I helped the guy, seeing as he probably would have choked without my help. How did he figure out who I am? I've never even spoken to him. Is this a real letter?
Man,
do I need a lawyer for this?
Sleuthing to find OP.
So much, right? Like, my goodness. To clarify, the language I used to describe him choking was wrong. He had choking and gagging sounds, but was otherwise silent and obviously distressed. Update. Well, I took y'all's advice and went back to the restaurant, and I spent about an hour and a half waiting, and then I spoke to a shift manager who called the general manager, who called the owner, and they swore up and down that no one came in asking for a tape or anything like that. So basically a tape of, what happened,
what actually happened.
Potentially used against him, right?
Although he should still get the tape, so you can have just some like evidence of the good deed that he did.
That is true. Then I started looking for defense attorneys, but I wasn't sure exactly how to proceed. Honestly, this week I've been mortified and really on edge.
I can imagine like thinking about like what kind of lawyer you need to get. You're maybe doing some consultations. And lawyers ain't cheap.
Finally, when I told my friends about everything, one of them fessed up to the fact that it was actually them and they made it up as some kind of prank.
Oh
my God.
That's a pretty rough prank.
Dude, it's too much. Pretty twisted joke. I wasn't laughing. I'm pretty pissed and seriously reconsidering my relationship with him. I appreciate everyone's support though, excluding the people who made fun of my mother's passing and tried to figure out where I lived.
Reddit, what are you doing?
Come on,
Come
bro.
on. God.
Y'all gotta chill
Man's just
sometimes.
trying to tell his story. I mean, jeez.
I bet there's someone who's like had a fake lawsuit before that's watching this right now, or
like
that.
what's the worst prank that has been pulled on you?
Yeah. Is there anything? I mean, this is kind of light in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So if you can beat it,
I mean, as long as like there was no actual action taken to get a lawyer and there wasn't any money taken out, like, I feel like it's relatively harmless. Yeah. But super stressful for that week.
For sure. For sure.
Sir, we only need your urine. Those doctor's words haunt me to this day. After doing it with the fourth girl of my young life at the time, all right, we get it. You're Jack.
Whoa.
I decided to get a checkup. Not for any physical reasons, mostly just emotional reassurance. Anyways, I called my neighbors across the street, who is 3 years older than me, basically my big bro, and I told him that I made an appointment to get checked. And I asked him what it entailed. He said it wasn't too bad. Just a little nut juice sample, just a little swabbing of the royal scepter, and checking his blood. So I felt pretty prepared going into the clinic, and I was pretty nervous to do a little rub and tub, but I reassured myself that it was going to be all fine.
He's going to be real relaxed afterwards.
So relaxed. When I finally got there, an older lady called my name and handed me a clear cup and escorted me to the restroom and said, please go in here. I was picturing more of a comfortable room where I could do my private thing of choking the chicken, but I thought, F it, the bathroom will suffice. I remember looking around for some materials to jog my imagination, but was disappointed that I couldn't find anything. I remember, all right, this place expects us to just use our imagination.
Oh, come on.
I guess they're old fashioned.
Yeah,
what can I
no
say?
magazines.
So I began, choking the chicken, beating the meat. I remember doing it pretty fast, almost too fast. So I thought I'd wait there an additional 10 minutes because I didn't want this older nurse to think that I was some sort of freak. After waiting in there for what felt like an eternity, I finally handed my nut juice filled cup back to the old lady nurse, who acted impatient and upset that I took so long. Also, filled the cup?
This ain't no man. My guy is a horse. Sam, you know we talk about a lot of really hard situations on this podcast.
Oh, baby, the hardest.
And you know, Sam, that's not the only thing that we need hard in this world.
Fellas, if you're trying to play a little game of hide the zucchini and you want that zucchini to be nice, firm, and strong, I think you're gonna want to hear about our next sponsor.
We are working with Blue Chew, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Chew tablets. It is the best option to get your wiener stiff.
And you might be like, oh, I don't need it. But hey, you never know until you try. You could already be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but what if you were Superman? What if you were Tom Brady throwing spirals every freaking day in the bedroom?
That's right, guys. Blue Chew wants you to have better sex.
And I do too, personally.
We want your dongs rock hard. Discover all your options at bluechew.com. Just chew it and do it, baby.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code OKOP at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. I'm like free, like actually free. That's bluechew.com, promo code OKOP to receive your first month free.
Come on.
Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And I just want to thank Blue Chew one more time for sponsoring this podcast and making the hard things hard and our life easy.
Oh, yes. Back to the episode.
The woman set the cup on the desk table thingy, looked at it, then picked it up again, and she jiggled the cup a bit. She stopped. I held my breath as I looked at her face, and I saw it turn from confusion to sheer horror. She turns to me and goes, sir, we only need your urine. I will never forget the feeling that I had at that very moment. My face got red. I felt immediately hot. My legs felt weak. My arms sweaty. Mom spaghetti. I just wanted to get the F out of there. There have been so many embarrassing moments in my life, but luckily I can think pretty quickly on my feet and I can dig my way out of most uncomfortable situations. I would have loved to see you dig your way out of this one. There was no effing shovel in sight for this moment to dig myself out. Nothing to say, nothing to do, just stand and look shocked and terrified. I just juiced and an effing urine sample cup. And now this poor elderly woman who's probably months away from retirement was horrified and confused as she was ripping a hot cup of my future children. I'm guessing the clinic never trained her for situations like this. Even if she made a joke to lighten the mood, it wouldn't have been better. It would have killed the tension in the room. Instead, she remained stoic. I felt awkward and scared. I felt like a monster. After going back to pee, goes back for the
He
test.
has to go back.
And a few tests later, I got the F out of there. After much reflection, though, I now think that she deserved it. Because honestly, yes, I did assume that she wanted a nut juice sample, but the woman never specified what kind of sample she wanted.
What does assuming do?
Yeah, makes an ass out of you and me. Therefore, she assumed I knew too. And when both people are assuming, chances are that one of them is going to get a cup full of the other's nut juice. It's just the way it is. God, I still cringe thinking of the day. Sometimes when I look at myself in the mirror, I randomly think of that old woman's face as she realized she's holding a cup filled with my hot soldiers. And I just bust out laughing and go to bust another nut.
Hold on, slow clap. This might just be a true American hero over here.
Hey, that was a great story. Man is eloquent. I added the bust another nut yet. I'm sure he's not choking the chicken to the memory of that old lady.
Nope.
Maybe he is, Maybe he's into mature gals and lasses and ladies. But you know what is really mature? Sharing your opinion in the comments below on what you would do in the situation.
My God.
If you have an embarrassing situation like this, so what if we hid his inhaler from him? It's just a prank, bro.
We're just having this little boy time,
Fun. I, female 22, grew up in a family where men prank and tease each other, and it's prank war. Yeah. Ever since my fiance, Tim, 23, and I got engaged, my cousin, brother, dad, and uncle joked about running some tests to see what type of man Tim is. Is he a little boy, man child, or is he a big, gruff bear daddy?
Big boss man.
Oh, yeah. They've done stuff like forcing him to play chess 4 times in a row.
Drooling.
Yeah, that just sounds like you're playing chess together. Secretly slashing his tires to see if he'd fix him himself like a man.
Very bad.
Or get help like those lazy guys, which is a huge escalation from playing chess. Then they'd ask him questions like what joke he'd tell to his future mother-in-law, his opinions on abortion, Jesus, gender equality, etc. They also tested his fishing and hunting skill. What is this, an episode of Survivor? Like,
literally,
what
is this like Survivor Fiance edition?
Yeah, and overwhelmed him with hypothetical scenarios to test his decision-making abilities / mental strength. They kept calling him slow and soft, but he has a medical condition called asthma, but they think he's just making excuses. This is what you sound like. I demanded they stop, but Dad said this is just typical boy men's challenge stuff, and they do this with each other, and said I was ruining the fun. It's not going to be fun if this dude dies.
Yeah, not so whimsical then.
Not so fun. Last week, they took Tim on a 3-day trip and hid his inhaler. On a 3-day trip, he left them and returned in 7 hours and told me. I was seething after he said they admitted to hiding it as a challenge. Because like breathing is overrated.
Only a real man can breathe on his own.
At what point do you draw the line?
Literally, just like, I don't know if I want to hang with your family anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
they're trying to kill me.
they're low-key trying to murder me.
I exploded on them when they returned. Cousin asked if little Timmy wank a cackle. And then I yelled at all 4 of them, I'm uninviting them all from the wedding.
I mean, that's big.
I would say maybe even too big. But then again, they are trying to kill her fiance.
Yeah, so
my brother freaked out saying, it was just a prank, bro. And they'll give it back. Dad said they'll apologize if I insist, but Tim will have lost a little respect for the men, the boys. And in their eyes, he will always be that soft college kid who's not up for the challenge.
First, we like challenge you at chess. Then we hide your inhaler on a hike. Like, pick a lane.
Let's like pick lanes where we're not trying to kill this dude. I called him and the others awful, and then I left. My cousin is begging that we talk talk. My uncle has been quiet, but my dad is so mad now that he's getting my mom involved to get me to reconsider this decision. Honestly, OP, I think you might regret not inviting your parents and family over this. Well, who am I to say? I am to say. This is my show. But I keep refusing to invite them. Mom is saying I'm exaggerating and should let bygones be bygones and not let this ruin my relationship with my family. So, am I the a-hole for uninviting my whole family because they tried to kill my boyfriend? I want to know what all y'all think. Does the punishment fit the crime? But John, take it away. What do you think? And while he's talking, put those answers in the comments below.
So the thing is, I mean, they were way out of line.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, slashing the tires, like...
That's a lot.
Cool, calm down.
Slashing the tires is a lot.
At the same time, I mean, I feel like if I were in this scenario, I would not uninvite for the wedding, maybe threaten to.
Yeah.
In order to like, yo, this is serious. Like, if this happens one more time, you're out of the wedding. You have to know how, like, this is the person I'm going to marry.
Yeah, this is affecting his life.
So
I want him to be alive for my children.
I think all of the guys, the boys, the a-holes, and then sweet Timmy and OP, I think you're a-hole free.
Yeah. Timmy is honestly a little angel for putting up with all that shit.
Really is, though.
All right.